Al-Qaim, Al-Qaim, it is a place to be. Al-Qaim, Al-Qaim, will you come with me? Al-Qaim, Al-Qaim, together we will be the helpers of Imam and strengthen our Iman. The helpers of Imam and strengthen our Iman. Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, dear friends! Today we are commemorating the martyrdom of our ninth Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Taqi alayhi salam.
He is known as Al-Taqi, the pious one.
And Al-Jawad, the generous one.
He started practicing imamat when he was about 9 years old.
He was the most learned one of his time.
One day, when Ma'mun was passing through a street with his horsemen, all the children ran away out of fear. But Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam stayed. When Ma'mun asked him why he didn't leave, the Imam replied by saying, "The streets are wide enough for you to pass, and I have no guilt to fear from you."
Ma'mun was astonished at his answer, and he realized that Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam is as special as his father was. So he decided to marry his daughter al-Fadl with him, in the hope of gaining trust of all those who loved Imam and also to keep a close eye on him.
Let's listen to a story to learn more about Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam.
Let's begin with
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Blessed names. Why was he named Al-Jawad alayhi salam? The wedding hall was decorated with silk curtains and expensive couches. Servants and maids walked around, serving the guests delicious foods and fancy drinks. The air was filled with a sweet perfume smell, and the room was buzzing with joy. The guests, dressed in their most beautiful clothes, were eagerly awaiting the entrance of the groom, Imam Muhammad al-Jawad alayhi salam. Soon, Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam entered the lavish hall in simple clothing and with a serious face. Upon seeing him, Ma'mun forced a smile as he ran forward to welcome him. He took the Imam's hand and led him to the beautiful couch. On the other side of the beautiful golden curtain, the women sat around Ma'mun's daughter, al-Fadl, who would soon become Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam's wife. While this may have looked like the perfect wedding, it was all just a clever trick by the evil caliph Ma'mun. You see, Ma'mun wanted Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam to marry his daughter so he could keep the Imam alayhi salam close to him and make sure that he didn't overtake Ma'mun's kingdom. As the wedding ceremony began, the Imam alayhi salam sadly read his own aqd of nikah. When the nikah finished, everybody began clapping loudly and happily except the Imam. You see, Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam knew that this wedding was all just part of Ma'mun's evil plans. However, no one else seemed to notice the sad look on the Imam alayhi salam's face. Ma'mun wanted everyone to think he was very generous, so he ordered the servants to bring out large plates filled with rice, meat, fruits, and desserts of all kinds. Once all the guests had eaten more than they could handle, Ma'mun signaled for his servants to bring out the surprise gifts. The servants, dressed in special uniforms, came from all corners of the room, holding trays filled with small golden boxes. They handed them to the excited guests, who couldn't wait to tear open the boxes and see what was inside. Inside each box, there was a special type of paper on which the Caliph had written an "I owe you" note. These papers stated that the guests would receive either gold bars, silver coins, or even a house. The guests couldn't believe their eyes and were overcome with excitement. However, soon everyone began wondering what was written on each other's papers, and some even started to feel envious of others. But before they could say anything, another set of servants came out, passing out bags of gold coins to each guest. Everyone became even happier and started praising and thanking Ma'mun, not knowing that he was doing all of this just to show off. For a third time, another set of servants came out. This time, they were carrying plates shaped like boats with very expensive perfumes. Each guest sprayed themselves with the beautiful scents. Just then, Ma'mun made a loud noise, asking for everyone's attention. The guests fell silent, excited for Ma'mun's big announcement. Ma'mun reached for a long scroll of paper and began reading out loud all the items he would be gifting Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam. You would think that the Imam alayhi salam would be thrilled with all the gifts he was getting. But Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam did not seem happy at all. He knew that Ma'mun's intentions were not sincere. However, the guests were in awe over all the gifts he was to receive. After Ma'mun finished speaking, the guests clapped joyfully, astonished at how generous Ma'mun had been. As the wedding came to an end, the guests clutched their gifts closer to their chests and left the party feeling overjoyed with everything they had received. How foolish the guests had been. You see, the generosity of Ma'mun was fake. He had stolen most of his money and thought that by giving it away, the people would think he was a generous and kind caliph. He did not understand that real generosity is when someone gives out of their own belongings to the needy only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, it was really Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam who showed us what true generosity is. When the Imam alayhi salam went to Mecca, he took all of his wealth and divided it amongst the poor and needy. After Hajj, he decided to leave Khorasan and return to his own hometown, Medina. He left the lavish castle that Ma'mun had given him and instead found a small, simple home to live in. He was happier in this small home where he spent all his time praying and showing kindness to others. One day, some of Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam's companions from Khorasan came to visit him. When they entered the Imam alayhi salam's simple house, they were shocked. The Imam alayhi salam's home in Khorasan was so much more grand and magnificent. It had everything you could imagine, but this house only had one simple carpet on the floor. So you see, generosity is not a rich king like Ma'mun giving gifts to show off. True generosity is when someone gives out of the things they love for the sake of Allah. Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam had given away all of his wealth to the poor during the time of Hajj. Now, he, like most of the people of the town, lived a very simple life. It was because of this generosity that he was given the title Al-Jawad, the generous. Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam gave up the lavish lifestyle he was offered and instead chose to give his wealth to the poor and live a humble life for the sake of Allah. How many of us think we could do the same? O Allah, for the sake of Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, give us all the tawfiq to be truly generous and give from those things which we love. The end. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Until next time, ma'a salama.
MashaAllah! That was a very nice story about the generosity of Imam Muhammad al-Taqi alayhi salam.
As we learn from the story that Ma'mun was the king, but Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam went to his hometown, Medina, where he was living peacefully with his family.
But when Ma'mun died, his brother Mu'tasim became the king, and he called Imam Jawad alayhi salam to Baghdad so he could keep him under his strict observation.
Mu'tasim would ask strange and difficult questions to him. Even though our ninth Imam was very young, he would answer all the questions with great intellect.
His answers would make everyone speechless.
However, there were many people who would be jealous of his knowledge.
One of them told Mu'tasim that Imam's wisdom would attract many people towards him, and they would stop following Mu'tasim.
He agreed, and thus planned to poison our beloved Imam through Fadl. Imam Muhammad al-Taqi alayhi salam was martyred on the 29th of Dhul-Qa'dah.
Of all the Imams, Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam was martyred the youngest. He was only 25 years old.
Even though his life was very short, he was full of knowledge and contribution to saving the religion of Islam.
He was buried next to his grandfather, Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam in Kadhmain.
Let's listen to a latmiya to give condolence to the Imam of our time.
Muhammad was poisoned like his grandfather. Muhammad al-Taqi has now left to his creator. Muhammad al-Taqi was poisoned like his grandfather. Muhammad al-Taqi has now left to his creator. At the age of 5, your father left. The pain you felt of hope bereft, and the forever. Muhammad at-Taqi Mawla was poisoned like his grandfather. Muhammad at-Taqi Mawla has now left to his creator the knowledge and the sciences, the wisdom and the scholarships that you imparted. With you your guidance and blessings have also departed. With you your guidance and blessings have also departed. Muhammad at-Taqi Mawla was poisoned like his grandfather. Muhammad at-Taqi Mawla has now left to his creator. Muhammad